It's Tuesday, February 10th. In the headlines, Tax Administration Jamaica warns against false tax filings after a major court ruling. In business news, Jamaica Manufacturers and Exporters Association restarts Buy Jamaica campaign. Regionally, free movement nears reality as Belize tables CARICOM mobility legislation. And in sports, the under-17 Reggae Boys to clash with Canada on Wednesday in FIFA Under-17 World Cup qualifier. This is the news on PBC Jamaica. I'm Simone Absalom Gale. Tax Administration Jamaica is warning businesses and individuals to file honest and accurate income tax returns following a major court ruling involving several used car dealers. TAJ says 11 companies were successfully prosecuted after falsely filing nil or $0 income tax returns over multiple years, despite actively importing and selling motor vehicles. Investigations revealed that between 2020 and 2023, the companies imported hundreds of vehicles but reported no income in their tax filings. The matters were heard in parish courts across Kingston and St. Andrew, Manchester, Clarendon, St. Catherine and St. Mary, stemming from probes by TAJ's Intelligence Investigation and Enforcement Unit. 11 companies pleaded guilty and were fined a combined $12.25 million. TAJ says deliberately misrepresenting income is a serious offense under the Income Tax Act and can lead to hefty fines or imprisonment. With the filing deadline approaching, taxpayers are being urged to submit accurate returns and correct any past errors, as non-compliance could result in penalties and prosecution. Assistance is available through TAJ's customer service channels. Theft and vandalism of the country's utility supplies like water costs Jamaica over $300 million annually. Revenue Manager at the National Water Commission, Raymond Nesbeth, says water illegally diverted can become contaminated and end up in your supply. Let's hear more in the second part of this feature on water theft from JIS.
So they take it, store it at one point, and it can also return to the system and supply to somebody else. So they can now have a contaminated source, and it comes back from the contaminated source into the system and causes danger to persons below that point of the connection.
Creating a health risk for all while taking water from health facilities, which only compounds an already serious matter.
As you can see, it's expanding foam. It comes in a bottle, they bore the line, spray it into the line, and expands and fill the space. This restricts the flow of water in the line, so persons who are supposed to get this commodity, or good paying customers, don't get a drip of water when this one expands and blocks the line.
The length that people go to obtain illegal connections is sometimes extreme. During these excessive moments, pipes are cut, drilled, or punctured without engineering standards. Water flows unmetered and uncontrolled. System pressure drops downstream. Leaks develop around illegal fittings. Dirt or wastewater can be drawn into pipes during low pressure, and burst mains become more likely. And so communities may experience reduced supply, intermittent service, and no water during peak hours.
I'll make mention of our system up in Malvern. Because of the high pressure in the line in Malvern, they will take away the current, make the electricity go away as well to get it. And then now when the current is restored, they will have the water. By doing that, it affects the entire Malvern community. And we have to do constant removal of these illegal connections to make sure that the community is provided and serve the community as it is intended to do so.
Getting rid of illegal connections is a battle that the NWC continues to fight. But in doing so, the Commission also has the task of making sure that legitimate customers are not affected.
We have to conduct operations like these, and the end result is improve water pressure to the area, improve flow. Persons who aren't getting the commodity receive the commodity as they should, and our system operates at its optimal and to its full capacity.
Every illegal connection affects more than one household. It impacts entire communities, national water security, and public health. By having legal connections, Jamaicans will have guaranteed water quality, water that is delivered through approved materials and monitored systems, and thus a better experience for all. And the NWC is committed to making this happen.
We are more than happy to accommodate those who come to the office willing to have their service regularized. We do whatever it takes to make sure that we meet them pathway to restore good service to their community and to their homes. Please feel free to come to the NWC, talk to us. We always have a program that we can fit you and make sure that you benefit from one way or the other.
An earthquake shook Jamaica's eastern parishes early Tuesday morning. According to the earthquake unit at the University of the West Indies, the 5.6 magnitude quake was felt about 3:18 a.m. The epicenter was located 80 kilometers east of Montreal, Portland. It had a focal depth of 10 kilometers. The Heart Foundation of Jamaica is urging Jamaicans to learn the warning signs of a heart attack and understand their personal risk factors as the country observes Heart Month. Health experts say greater awareness and early medical care could save lives. Speaking at a JIS think tank, consultant cardiologist and Heart Foundation chairman Dr. Andreen Chung said many Jamaicans misunderstand what a heart attack is. In this Living Healthy report, we learn how to recognize a heart attack.
So heart attack, first of all, is an event. It's a cardiac event. It's not something that's going on and on and on. It's a specified event in which there is damage to the heart muscle because of sudden blockage of blood vessels and reduction or obstruction of blood flow to the heart muscle. So you block off the blood supply and the heart muscle dies or becomes severely damaged. That's a heart attack. The heart attack occurs, although it's a sudden event, it occurs on the background of long-term deposits forming on the inside of the blood vessels of the heart. So how do you know you're having a heart attack? What are the symptoms and signs? Well, the most consistently reported sign or symptom of a heart attack is chest pain. And although you will hear that sometimes you don't get chest pain when you have a heart attack and women may not get chest pain, the point of the matter is in men and women, the most common symptom of a heart attack is chest pain. It's usually felt in the center of the chest, but it may radiate out to either side of the chest and to either arm, so left or right arm. It may also go up into the throat or through you to your back. These are common areas where you may feel pain or discomfort when you're having a heart attack. And it doesn't have to be severe pain. It's not always the severe pain that causes you to clutch your chest and fall to the ground like you see in the medical dramas on TV. Sometimes it can be subtle, and it's usually associated with other symptoms. For example, you may get short of breath. You may feel faint or like you want to pass out. You might feel nauseous or even vomit. And another fairly common symptom is, as Jamaican people would say, you wash with cold sweat. So you get very sweaty and, really, you can be soaked. So those are some typical presentations of heart attack. And if you are feeling those symptoms, particularly the chest pain, you should make sure you get to medical attention as soon as possible. One other word about the chest pain. It may be sharp, it may be dull, it may be, as we say, hard to localize. That means you're feeling it, but you can't really say it is specifically in this spot or that spot. It's just in the chest. or it may be burning and feel like heartburn, or you might think that you're having acid reflux because you feel this burning pain in the chest. There's a reason they call it heartburn, because the symptoms of a heart attack and the symptoms of something like acid reflux can actually overlap and feel the same. So people might think that they're having, peptic ulcer, or they're having some acid stomach, when in fact they're having a heart attack. The clue is the things that you would normally take to help you with your acid stomach. So if you drink your ginger tea and you take your antacid and you take your magnesia and it's not settling, it might not be your stomach. So get to medical attention. And it's important because the earlier you get to medical attention and the earlier treatment starts, the less muscle is going to be damaged, and therefore the function of the heart that you're going to be left with after a heart attack is going to be that much better.
Time now for the Business Report with Denise Williams.
Welcome to today's Business Report. I'm Denise Williams, bringing you the developments shaping markets, capital access, and business decision-making across Jamaica and the region. Let's get into the stories that matter. The Jamaica Manufacturers and Exporters Association, JMEA, has relaunched its Buy Jamaican campaign in a bid to strengthen the manufacturing sector. The industry now accounts for about 9% of gross domestic product and employs roughly 85,500 people, down sharply from the 1970s and 80s when it contributed more than 20% to gross domestic product and supported about 165,000 jobs. The campaign launched last Friday by JMEA Vice President Cecil Foster will highlight manufacturing's role in economic growth, job creation, and long-term resilience. Several noted companies trading on the Jamaica Stock Exchange reported a mixed bag of financial results. First, the directors of Image Plus Consultants, which trades as Apex Radiology, are reporting a 62% tumble in its profits to $16.2 million on revenues of $277.2 million during the quarter, which ended on November 30. Next, Paramount Trading Company is reporting a sharp improvement in earnings for the second quarter of its 2025 to 2026 financial year. The company posted net profit of $41.9 million on revenue of $385.7 million and other operating income of $36.8 million. From there, AMG Packaging and Paper Company Limited is reporting net profit of $16.6 million for the 3 months ending November 30, 2025. The company recorded revenues of $223.7 million, gross profit of $78 million, and operating profit of $18.9 million. That said, R.A. Williams is reporting a 32% jump in revenues for the second quarter of the 2025-2026 financial year, climbing to $484.9 million. Despite the revenue growth, R.A. Williams recorded an operating loss of $7.4 million. This compares with an operating profit of just over $5 million a year ago. The management says the loss reflects higher investment in infrastructure, brand visibility, and sales support as part of a strategy to strengthen long-term capacity. For the trading period of February 9, 2026, the most actively traded securities were Trans-Jamaica Highway Limited with 6,137,092 units, representing 26.36% of market sales activities. QWI Investments Limited with 2,285,800 units, representing 9.82% of market sales activities. Kentire Holdings Jamaica Limited with 2,129,062 units, representing 9.14% of market sales activities. Investor activity remained concentrated in transportation, investment management, and advertising plays signaling continued interest in dividend-producing and strategic assets. Turning to the foreign exchange market based on Bank of Jamaica data for February 9, 2026, Forex traders recorded significant activity with strong demand across major currencies. US dollar trading margins reflected steady liquidity, with the US selling at $156.95 and buying at $155.30. For the Canadian dollar, moderate gain supported by 94-cent transaction spreads. The Canadian dollar sold for $115.36 and was bought for $114.42. The British pound had continued volatility, offering short-term trading opportunities of $7.44 in profits for the banks. The British pound sold for $215.01 and was bought for $207.57. These movements underscore the importance of cash flow timing and currency awareness for businesses managing import costs, debt servicing, or overseas exposure. For our credit report tip of the day, many professionals struggle with credit because they expect ideas and expertise to unlock funding, while banks fund predictability, not potential. Credit functions as a financial sum that signals reliability and obligation, not creativity or character. When this is misunderstood, professionals disengage instead of positioning themselves strategically. The solution is to treat credit as infrastructure, actively manage it, translate vision into risk-ready structures, and present clear signals of control and consistency so capital can move forward without hesitation. And that's today's business report. I'm Denise Williams, bringing clarity to capital, markets, and strategy. Until next time, stay informed, stay intentional, and keep building forward. See you soon.
In regional news, Prime Minister Gaston Brown says the relationship between Antigua and Barbuda and the People's Republic of China is grounded in mutual respect and should serve as a model for other global powers. He argued that China has not sought to intimidate the Twin Island nation, unlike what he described as the approach of some other countries. The Prime Minister was speaking at the Spring Festival celebration at the Chinese Embassy on Sunday, marking the Year of the Horse. Garfield Burford reports.
Prime Minister Honorable Gaston Brown addressing a momentous occasion at the Chinese Embassy on Sunday.
I'm delighted to share in this celebration of the Chinese New Year, the Spring Festival, which is one of the most significant occasions in China.
He again made it clear the People's Republic of China has been an important and reliable development partner of Antigua and Barbuda.
Without the contributions of the People's Republic of China, our social and economic standing would have been significantly different. And I believe that we owe the PRC a debt of gratitude for the investments that they have made in this country during the last several decades.
The celebration of the Chinese New Year is taking place at a time of continued geopolitical shifts as the United States flexes its military muscle in the Americas, with small states forced to adjust to an emerging new order. The Prime Minister didn't shy away from the geopolitical developments and the impact on small island developing states. He says China and Antigua and Barbuda are showing how a large, powerful country and a small, powerless one can cooperate.
China is not intimidating us. China has never made any demand of Antigua and Barbuda to do anything that is not in the best interests of the people of Antigua and Barbuda. China remains very respectful of Antigua and Barbuda as a sovereign country, notwithstanding the asymmetry in size. And I think that this is a good example for developed countries, including the United States, as to how they treat with small, vulnerable countries. China does not have any restrictions on Antigua and Barbuda. Not even visa restrictions. In fact, we now have visa-free access into China. China does not have any sanctions in Antigua and Barbuda. And I think this is precisely how small and large should cooperate.
Prime Minister Brown says this partnership should continue despite the shifting geopolitical realities.
I know that perhaps sometime in the future we may be called upon to distance ourselves from China. But I say to you that that should not happen. We must continue to stand with China, if not out of gratitude, at least in the interest of international cooperation. And we have to understand too that geopolitical sentiments, they change from time to time.
Prime Minister Brown also insists Antigua and Barbuda should always stand on principle in line with his government's mantra of being friends of all and enemies of none. He had this message for the people of Antigua and Barbuda.
And what I'll say to our countrymen and countrywomen is that this bullying cannot continue indefinitely. And we have to learn to stay the course, to take the pressure. There will be increased pressures, but we should not buckle, provided we continue to stand in principle, provided we continue to stand with our friends. Then we have nothing to worry about as a people. Because at the end of the day, we are standing in principle.
Turning to the global geopolitical and geo-economic theater, the head of government is also hoping China and the US will cooperate as the two largest economies in the world.
St. Lucia's Agriculture Minister is raising alarm on the global stage over the growing threat of invasive seaweed to small island economies. Addressing the World Government's Summit, she warned that recurring surges are undermining economic security and is urging a coordinated regional shift from crisis response to sustainable use. More in this report.
In a room filled with global leaders and tech innovators in Dubai, Lisa Jawahir stood as a representative of the front line. Only months into her tenure as St. Lucia's first female minister in this portfolio, she finds herself navigating a complex intersection where climate change meets food security and the survival of the island's nearly $1.5 billion tourism industry. The culprit, sargassum, a sprawling brown mass of seaweed that has become a recurring nightmare for Caribbean coastlines. Minister Jawahir argued that this isn't just a nuisance for swimmers. It is a structural threat to the region's GDP.
Given the significance of tourism, which represents almost 70% of our GDP, any threat to our core sector must be treated seriously. As such, we also believe that this shared issue gives opportunity for the formulation of a shared long-term solution which addresses our concerns and captures the opportunity for transformation of the sargassum to something which benefits our people where possible.
For Jawahir, the mission is twofold. She is pushing for a loss and damage strategy that forces the international community to recognize the economic toll these environmental shifts take on small island states. But she is looking for the gold within the seaweed. Her intervention at the summit wasn't just a plea for help, it was a call for innovation. She's looking for collaborative solutions that can transform this invasive weed into a catalyst for a new sustainable industry, potentially in biofuels or fertilizer, turning an environmental liability into a national asset.
This increases visitor value, extends stays, and spreads benefits more equitably across communities. For St. Lucia, therefore, tourism for cultural heritage is not a standalone sector. It is a platform through which we express identity, create livelihoods, empower communities, and connect regionally.
By framing the sargassum crisis within the context of the multi-destination regional approach, Jawahir is betting on a future where Caribbean nations no longer fight for scraps of the market, but unite to protect the very ecosystem that sustains them.
When we collaborate in this area, we are not just strengthening tourism, we are protecting it. And that allows us to further strengthen the social and economic fabric of the Greater Caribbean.
As she returns from Dubai to the Agriculture Ministry, the challenge remains moving from the high-level dialogue of a global summit to the practical, gritty reality of the beaches back home. Gina Filippi,
Belize is moving to formalize CARICOM free movement arrangements, with Foreign Affairs and Foreign Trade Minister Francis Fonseca recently piloting the Caribbean Community Free Movement and Contingent Rights Bill 2026 in the House of Representatives. Fonseca says the legislation will give legal effect to regional decisions allowing nationals of participating member states to enter and remain freely in Belize, while establishing the framework to govern their rights and obligations under the initiative.
This bill provides a clear legal framework within which Belize will continue to manage the entry, stay, and participation of CARICOM nationals. It offers clarity for Belizeans, certainty for institutions, and consistency in the administration of free movement, formalizing arrangements that were already operational but not yet codified in law. This bill is the culmination of a regional decision taken at the 49th meeting of the Conference of Heads of Government of CARICOM in July last year. Official reporting shows that 83 CARICOM nationals have entered under the free movement framework. These entrants have primarily been business persons, professionals, athletes, and short-term visitors. Of these, only two persons are currently residing in Belize under indefinite stay, demonstrating that the regime operates as intended without placing pressure on public services or public order.
In sports, we look to football. The Under-17 Reggae Boys will next be in action on Wednesday at 3 p.m. Jamaica time versus Canada. A victory over Canada would secure Jamaica's qualification to the Under-17 FIFA World Cup in Qatar. Jamaica leads Group G with 6 points, the same as Canada, but with a far better goal difference. Jamaica defeated Aruba 3-0 and the Cayman Islands 12-0, while Canada beat the Cayman Islands 3-0 and Aruba 5-1. We move now to cricket. West Indies all-rounder Jason Holder has etched his name in cricket history. The Barbadian became the first West Indies bowler to claim 100 wickets in all 3 formats of the game, reaching the milestone during the team's opening victory over Scotland at the ICC Men's T20 World Cup. And that's the news on PBCJ. Thanks for watching.